Gonna learn Today we're going to learn how to set up a spreadsheet for your caseload. I'm going to go ahead and start at the very beginning just to make sure we're all on the same page, although most of us, I assume, have this already. So what we're going to do is go to Microsoft Excel, click on it, blank workbook, file, go ahead and save as. We can call it Caseload and save it somewhere that you'll see it, perhaps desktop. All right, so what we want to do is go ahead and start by making the fields. So last name, first, perm-num, date of birth, grade, teacher, service time, and let's just say annual due and eval due. And then you'll go ahead and, for each of the students on your caseload, start filling this out. Now I'm going to use a list of celebrities to fill this out just a little bit so we can start messing around with it. So I'm going to do this by myself real quick and then come back with the list of celebrities. All right, so I've filled this out a little bit. Just a caseload of 9, but that's okay. You can see here I made up some perm-nums, gave them teachers. I don't really care about the date of birth, so I'm just going to get rid of that. But then you have service time, when their annual is due and when their eval is due. So just a few notes. To save it, you can press Control S or Command S if you have a Mac. You can also go and click Save. You want to do that often so you continue to keep your work. But now we have our caseload set up, so we can start messing with it and figure out when the next annual is due and the next eval is due on our calendar, and not necessarily for each individual students. So we can make this look a little nicer by highlighting several columns, or a row for that matter, and having a fill like this, kind of giving it some color. And so the first thing we can do is, if we want to, is highlight everything and then go under File. Let's find it real quick. Oh, that's right. You want to go ahead and right click and go find Sort. And I always use Custom Sort because that gives me the best control over my options. And you want to sort by any of these things. So say, for instance, we start out with sorting by their last names. We can see them in alphabetical order. We press OK. We now have our students in alphabetical order. Say we wanted to sort them by their school. Custom sort. Now under here it says last. We're going to change that to school. Let's see what we get. And there it goes in alphabetical order by school. Sorry about that. And so now we have our base spreadsheet that has all the information we need. And you look down here at the bottom, you see something called Sheet 1. We can actually rename this, call it Caseload if we want to. We can also see this plus sign, and this is where the fun begins for me. So we can say, double click on it and it allows us to change the name. We can call this the ARD due. We can make another one for eval due. So what I want to do here is highlight all of it, and I can right click and press copy, or a shortcut for that would be to press Control C after highlighting it, or Command C. Then go down to ARD due, press paste. And let's go ahead and do that again for eval due. Paste. So now I have 3 different spreadsheets on one file. I have my caseload, where it's sorted by school. I have my ARD due, and it's still sorted by school, and I have my eval due, which is sorted by school. But we want to make sure that these are sorted by the things that give us the most information, which is when the annual's due. So what I want to do is go in here, highlight everything, and sort. I always use custom sort because it gives me the most control, and sort by annual due. So you can see here in date order when their next annual ARD is due. And some of this stuff is not important at this point. So say for instance, grade and teacher and service time, I can come in here, highlight those columns, right click, and press delete. Shift cells left. And one thing I like to do is take out these. So just clear contents, but leave eval due. All right, and so right now our due, we'll go ahead and rename it to be consistent with what we already have. Annual due. And we have in date order when the next ARD is due for a student. So we always know, okay, Taylor Swift, her ARD is due on March 1, and then Kyrie Irving on March 8th all the way down. So that helps. It's the same thing with eval due, right? We highlight everything, right click, sort, always do custom sort, sort by eval due. And again, I don't really care about this stuff, so I can come in, highlight it, delete it. And this isn't that important actually, so I'll delete that too. And now I have in order when the next evaluation is due, so I can keep that on the top of my head. Now, at the beginning of the school year, what I typically do is from my caseload, I'll populate these spreadsheets, and then if there's something that I'm not going to mess with at all this school year, I'll just go ahead and delete them. So evaluations, I'm not going to mess with an evaluation that's due 11/14, or I might. So I'll just delete these. So right there is in order of the date they are due, the evaluations that are due for me for the coming school year. Another thing I like to do just to keep on top of things is I see that Taylor Swift's eval is due and her ARD is due. So I like to just put a little yes here, saying that I need to be looking at their evaluation at this ARD date. Now, obviously, if you're needing to do a reevaluation, you'll want to have the ARD before this so you can have the results ready by the annual, but this just helps you keep information in order. So let's look at Kyrie Irving. Kyrie's is due at their annual, so yes. Let's see. Judy, does she have one due this year? No. What about Jimmy? Yes, Jimmy has one due coming up. And that should be it, right? Because we're not looking at 12/19 until next year. So that's all I have for now. You can make your caseload. You can copy it over into your annual. So you have an in-order list of the dates they're due, and same thing with the evaluations. And that allows you to keep track of your caseload a little more easily. I can show you guys how to populate these dates on a calendar if you need to, but we'll save that for a later video. All right, take care.